Hello, geometry students. This is Mrs. Taylor coming again, this time with area of composite figures. So if you've done a little bit of area before, now a composite figure is a combination of figures put together or taken away. So we may need to add or subtract two figures together. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so right there we have this shape. It's called a composite figure because two shapes make up this figure. So the figures that I see a rectangle and I see a half circle. So if you notice, that's where I would cut it off and see the rectangle and the half circle. So you have to take the area of both those shapes, and what we're going to do is add them when we're finished. So you're going to need the formulas for the area of the rectangle and the area of a circle / half circle. So if you have not printed the notes or followed on with the notes, I have notes attached to your Google assignment so you can follow along with me if you can print. If not, let's just listen. It's not too bad. So here we go. First, we need the area of a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. So let's substitute our length and our width. Very easy. 8 times 12 is 96. So that only gives me this part right here is 96. I'm still not finished because I still have a second figure I have to worry about. So let's talk about that half circle. So with the half circle, the information that I do know, if you notice that if the bottom is 8 feet, then the diameter of the circle is also 8 feet. The problem is, for the area of a circle, you don't need diameter. Let's look at the formula. We need radius. And notice that I said the area of a half circle. So you take the area of a regular circle, which you guys just saw in our video with sector area, and we gotta divide it by 2. The problem is we need the radius. Well, the radius is always half of the diameter. So that is 4. You cannot do a circle formula for an area of a circle formula without a radius. So you got to find a radius. So notice what I did. I made sure I understand what a radius is. Now I'm going to substitute into the formula. I'm going to use 3.14 for pi because that's easier. So 3.14 times 4 to the second power divided by 2. Then I'm just going to drop that in the calculator. I'm going to round to the nearest 10th, which is the first decimal place, and I get 25.1 feet. So he's about 25 feet squared. So what I'm going to do, the last step, is just to add them both together. And then that is my answer. And that's how you do composite figures. You have to figure out, oh, what do I see? And then you have to get the area of one figure and the area of the second one, and you're going to add them together. So here we go. So let's look at the next one. Here's our next example. So what do you see? Well, I see a rectangle and a triangle. So therefore, I'm going to need a formula for a rectangle, which we know, and a formula for a triangle, which we also know. So there is a split. I see the split clearly here. So the rectangle is always easy because it's just length times width. I don't have to think about it. I clearly see the length and width. 8 times 13, I get 104. So I know that this part is 104 inches to the second power. Now, here's our formula for a triangle. Now, our issue is we need dimensions or numbers for our triangle. So, well, if that over here is 8 inches, wouldn't that translate to also that being 8 inches? Because a rectangle has congruent opposite sides from the quadrilateral unit that we learned. So there you go. We know that's 8 inches. The problem is we still need the height of this triangle. So I know the height is this right there. But now what math can I do to get the height? I'm just like, I don't see the math that I can use to get the height. Well, if I look, they're giving me that this long length right here at the top is 19. So they are saying 19 goes from here all the way till here. From here to here. And I keep touching my screen because it just keeps giving zoom. So you got to ignore that. So if that's 19, and then this much of the 19 is 13, then what is left over for this to be this little bitty part? That's where our subtraction is going to come into play. And we get 6 because 13 plus 6 gives you the 19 for the whole length of that whole figure together. And so then I'm going to substitute, and I get 1/2 8 times 6, and I get A equals 24 inches squared. So again, let's add these two together, and I get 128 inches to the second power. So we have that. So now let's go to example 3. So what I want you guys to do is do example 3 on your own. So if you're watching the video, I'm going to give you a countdown where I want you to pause, and then I'm going to pick back up. So you guys should pause here, and then I'm going to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm jumping back in. So hopefully you try to figure out example number 3 by yourself. So what I see is two shapes. I see a half circle and I see a triangle. So I need two formulas. I need a triangle formula and a half circle formula, or the area for a circle divided by 2. So my area of my triangle, we know that 1/2 base times height. And what's so easy, I can clearly see what my base and my height is. So I do 8 times 7, I take half of it, I get to 28 feet. So I know that my triangle is worth 28, has an area of 28 feet squared. So now my issue is, okay, now I need to do my circle. And remember, with the formula of the circle, you cannot use the diameter, and that 8 feet is the diameter because it goes from one point on the edge of the circle to the other point on the circle circumference. So it goes like that. So we need the radius. So again, we used 8 last time. It has to be, the diameter is 8. So that radius is 4. So in the formula, we have to use 4. And so we do that math and we get 25.1 again, like we kind of got in our first problem. It was just luck and happenstance that we got 25.1 again. And then we just got to combine those areas together, do math, there you go, add, and that is our answer of 53.1 feet squared. So I hope you got that. So let's do example number 4. So example 4, I want you to do on your own. So I want you to pause the video right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and I'm back, and I clearly see a triangle and a rectangle. Easily, a triangle and a rectangle. Technically, a rectangle is a square because when a square be both the same base and height, but we can use a rectangle formula for a square because it's still base and height because a square is a rectangle. So there we go. That's where I see the split. So let's do the rectangle or square. Yes. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 meters squared. So I know this area is 49. Now it's time to work with the triangle. So we need the base and the height. Well, the base of the triangle is kind of easy to see because I know that 7 is going to be taken across. That's easy. It's got to be the same from the opposite side to the next on a square or a rectangle. Let's try to figure out that height. So we know that has to be the height. So what numbers are we going to have to subtract? Well, from here to here is 11, and this part of it is 7. So a 7 plus this part needs to get to the 11. So if I subtract the 11 and the 7, I get the 4. And so 4 is what I can plug into the formula. So we have 1/2 times 4 times 7, that's 14 meters squared. So altogether, I have 63 meters squared because I have to add. All right, now our last two examples have to do with subtraction instead of adding. So let's look at what's visually different about when I need to subtract versus when I need to add. All right, so if you see this shape, doesn't it look like I took a bite out of my rectangle? Like a just huge bite. So I am taking away from a whole rectangle. And what shape am I taking away? I'm taking away a half circle. Instead of adding to it, I'm taking it away. And that's when I need to see that I need to subtract. So, again, I need the area of a rectangle, which is easy, 78, 6 times 13. Rectangles are just easy to work with. Let's talk about that half circle. All right, so we know we need radius for our half circle. That 6 is not going to help us. So what is our radius going to be? Our radius is going to be a 3. So now when I look at the formula, I can substitute a 3 into the formula, and I get 14.1 yards squared. Now I'm not going to add because I'm not combining the area. I'm taking away from that rectangle that was 78 yards squared in area. So I subtract, and then that is my answer. So let's look at our last problem, which I want you guys to do. So I want you to attempt this problem, and I'm going to count. I want you to pause the video, and I'm coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So hopefully you try to figure it out on your own. So I see two shapes. I see a triangle and a square. Hence, we can use the same formula as a rectangle for a square based on height. So let's go ahead and work with the area of the triangle. Well, this time I don't have to try to figure out my triangle because I know its base is 10 and I know its height is 15. So I just have to do 1/2 10 times 15 and I get the 75 meters squared. Now I am taking a bite out of this triangle. I'm taking a square out. So when I take out that square, I need to subtract that. So the area of a square is actually side square, but just to make it easier, if you need to see it as a rectangle, you can see it as a rectangle. So that's 5 times 5, 25 meters squared, and there you go. I subtract, and my area for my shape or my shaded area is 50 meters squared. So there you go. That's how you do these problems. I'm going to load up the formula chart on Google. So on your Google Classroom, you should see, obviously, this video because you wouldn't be able to get to it, the notes as well as your assignment. If you need help, I will send you a Zoom open meeting at about between noon and 1. You'll see it probably an hour before to let you know that I'm on and I can help anybody. Again, the Zoom is for tutoring, or you just want to say hi. You can pop on Zoom and say hi to me. And I'm looking for this to be done by Thursday, at the end of Thursday night. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Stay safe, stay in, protect your parents, protect your grandparents. Have a wonderful day.